Hey everyone, so I wanted to share a few of my thoughts on the whole Sick New World festival cancellation. Not that my opinion is needed or wanted or anything, but I feel like I've seen a few things that were confusion on how something like this could have happened. And I think that maybe I understand a little bit of it. This is not something that I want to get into on a regular basis, doing music news related type of things. I'd like to stick to music specifically, but I feel like this maybe could help answer some questions for some people. So this was not the first year for this festival. They'd done it at least this prior year, and from what I understand, it's a huge festival that is compacted into one single day with about five different stages and a curfew at the end of the night, where if they get behind schedule at all, it causes the last act to have to suffer. Now, their organization in some other festivals, I think they might have been involved in the Blue Ridge Mountain festival thing that kind of fell apart the other year. I'm going to try to stick to facts and things that I know went on and not stick to too much numbers because I don't want to exaggerate anything. But it's safe to say that they've been involved in some very large debacles having to do with their festivals and everything. And while this year's lineup was very great, you have Metallica and Linkin Park, but then of course the reunion of Acid Bath, which people seem to be very excited about as well. Uh, for some reason, people seem to want to be pointing to those headliners as the reason for this failure, and I don't really think that that is a good assessment of what's going on, because what it seems like is that the venue space is somewhat limited to around 60,000 people, let's say. Well, Metallica is going to be doing a US tour around this time where they're going to be playing venues of at least that size. They're playing here in Nashville in the big football stadium. It's going to be huge. It probably holds just as much, if not more, people as are going to be there. Now, you have so many bands packed into one single day. You're not getting a lot of quality time with each of those artists. You almost have to pick and choose which ones you're going to see, and it's going to be very long, exhausting, and expensive day. I had no aspirations of trying to attend the festival, mainly because of looking at it and the logistics. It was like, I just don't see how that would be an enjoyable experience. And the price of it, that is pretty comparable to a general admission ticket to one of the Metallica concerts. So, do you see Metallica at that price in the venue playing a full 2 hour set, or do you risk, having to see them at the tail end of a day where it's just bam, 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 bam? If anything gets behind, it's probably them that is going to get their set cut short. And just another thing to consider with this too, having a band like, let's just focus on Metallica, Linkin Park. I'm not as familiar with their situation. I know that they're very popular and in demand, whether controversial or not at the moment. Um, but you have a band like Metallica and their size, you have to have accommodations set up for you. They are not a band who is going to compromise their show unless it is absolutely necessary. And I know that when they come to town, you have to have a lot of staff, a lot of things in place for their show to be able to run smoothly. And I'm sure that that is very expensive just to be able to have that. And I don't see how it would be possible for them to sell the amount of tickets that was their goal of, let's say, 60,000. Pay Metallica what it takes to pay them, pay Linkin Park, pay every other tier of artist going down the main stage and the four other stages, and have it be profitable by them in any way. The cost would have to be passed on to the consumer, who is already balancing whether this is even a feasible thing. I don't know what happened with. I think that it was Sick New World where one of the days got canceled. I don't know that it was last year. Maybe it was the prior year. And I don't know what happened with that. If people that traveled to Las Vegas were refunded on any uh, maybe they got the ticket back, but I don't know about, the hotel, the travel, the food, and everything that you have to take into account when you do things like these too. The fact that it failed, I am not surprised. I was more surprised the other years when it actually went off. And, of course, there were problems that people heard about, but I mean, that just kind of happens. But I really did always feel like this was the inevitable outcome of this festival, and it's unfortunate, but it probably is more to do with the company who organized it, set the uh, lineup with before considering how things were actually going to balance out. So I hope that nobody had committed too much onto already planning their travel plans around this. Again, I'm not out and affected by it, and the whole reason for even making this video, it's not to be keeping up with the current news. It's more just that I was kind of seeing that narrative going about blaming the headliners, and I just really am having a hard time seeing how that makes sense. It seems like that this equation was never going to add up to success on their end, and luckily, I guess it's not going to be passed on to any of the fans as well. So, what do you think? Is this reasonable? Is there something else that I'm missing? I know I didn't spell out a lot of facts and over exaggerations and things. Again, that's not what I'm looking to try to get into with this stuff. But I would like to share some of that insight on this. I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you guys again in some more actual music related content soon. Thanks.